Hi, this is Eli Kranzberg, and welcome to Session Horns Pro Explained. I've got to start by saying I really love this company, E-Instruments. They really merge the best of all the worlds together. They started with Session Keys and now with Session Horns Pro, of blending the concepts of sampling, modeling, physical real-time playback control, and also using phrase generators that can play in the aesthetically correct styles, but are also flexible enough to apply your own chords to. And they've really stepped up and hit a home run with this brass instrument. So in this video, I want to kind of go through a little roadmap of what exactly Session Horns Pro is and what it does. Now let's start with the sounds. Basically, this is comprised of 10 multi-sampled brass instruments, and you can use them either as solo instruments or as sections. And you can get up to 6 instruments at a time playing in each instance of Session Horns Pro. So these are the individual instruments that we have, and we can combine them in preset combinations. So when we're generating chords and voices, you can have these act together as kind of a part of a section. So these are the combinations, and these are the individual instruments. Now there's 3 different type of NKI instrument types with Session Horns Pro. As you know by now, this is hosted within Kontakt, and we load them in as Kontakt files. Now we have the performance version of Session Horns Pro, and that's what I'm going to spend most of the time in these videos working with, because this contains the most controls and features of all the 3 different types. So the performance version of Session Horns Pro is really designed for the real-time performance of the horn section. So you create your own section. Let's say you want an alto, a tenor, 2 trumpets, and a trombone, whatever. You assemble the section you want, and you can use this instrument as well for velocity switching. There's up to 14 different articulations available that are triggered via velocity ranges. And this is also the version that uses the pre-programmed phrase generator. It's called the animator, and it can play back pre-programmed phrases, and you can customize them, use your own chords, use just the rhythms from them. It's really wonderful. We have the key switch version, and this is great when you're working in your sequencer. It lets you predefine up to 16 available articulations that you can trigger using key switches in the lower octaves of your MIDI controller. And finally, we have solo instrument versions, and it's kind of like the key switch version, and it's only meant to be used for single brass instruments. So we'll use all 3 of them throughout the videos, but this will be the one that we're mainly going to focus on. Now within Session Horns Pro, there's 3 main windows. We have the main window, and we use this for various tasks. This is where we set up our section. We determine how many instruments we want in the brass section. We have a voicing assistant section, which is really wonderful. It allows you to play chords on your keyboard and have them spread out amongst the instruments in different ways. We have a smart chord feature, which is also wonderful, which allows you to just trigger one note from your keyboard and it'll voice the chords for you in authentic brass voicings based on the instruments that you've got set up in your section. We have the animator view for working with the pre-programmed phrases, and we have the articulation view where we set the different articulations that we want triggered with the velocity ranges. The next window is the sound window, and this has traditional kind of mixer controls for adjusting the pan, the level, and all that of the instruments in your section. And it's also got some really nice onboard effects processing, EQs, reverbs, that kind of thing. And the third window is a control window, and this is great for the performance controls for real-time playing. We set the velocity response. We can set how we want the pitch wheel to function. And we can also manage some of the samples, because this is a huge library. There's 29 gigabytes of samples just for brass. So let's go to Kontakt and take a first look at these instruments. You'll see Session Horns Pro in the library in Kontakt, and under the Instruments section here, you can see here the key switch version, the performance version, and the solo instruments version. And the solo instruments version contain all the individual instruments, as we would expect. So let's load up the performance version, and we'll take a quick look at the different sections that we just discussed. So as it loads up now, it's loading in all the samples. We're going to see the main section setup area over here. Here's the voicing assistant. We have the articulation view over here, and we have the animator view over here. And at the bottom, we switch between 3 windows. This is the main window. This is the sound window, which has the mixer type controls, and the control window with the performance controls. So welcome, and we'll get started in the next video.